Yeah, first of all, thank you so much for attending this session and as well as for the committee who are inviting me to join this session. Well, the chair just already introduced me. My name is Nurlianti, representing the Stop TB Partnership Indonesia. And for this session, we are going to kind of explain some of designing scalable, sustainable, and also adaptable digital tools for TB-affected community. But first of all, I have no conflict of interest to declare. So maybe I will begin with some kind of background on why we need kind of digital tools in Indonesia. So basically, because we are from Indonesia, you know that Indonesia is one of the highest TB burden, but we're having some kind of challenge to kind of reach people quickly. Because some other things, especially because of Thousand Island and also remote access and in Indonesia. We also face kind of low awareness and also stigma, also cause delays in diagnosis, and the quality of TB service may be different from one region to other region. Community and the civil society need reliable real-time data to advocate effectively and ensure accountability as well. With Indonesia high mobile phone and internet use, you can see like everyone in Indonesia holding their phone everywhere and the internet use everywhere in Indonesia. So the digital tools become practical and scalable solution. Digital platform can standardize reporting and then provide faster and more accurate data as well, and of course reach the community that the manual system cannot do as well. By moving to the digital tools, we do believe that we can improve the feedback and speed up the decision making and strengthen the TB response nationwide. Yeah, the digital tools also offer a strong opportunity to address all kind of challenge that I already mentioned in Indonesia. They can expand the reach, simplify the reporting, and amplify the voice of the community, helping people access timely information and then monitor the service quality and as well as participate more actively in the decision making. So in this presentation, I would like to kind of explain you some of the digital tools that we already have in Indonesia that we targeting to the TB affected community to amplify their voice and then to involve more in the decision making things. So these are the things, the digital tools that I'm going to mention. One of the things is the TB Warrior Screening. This is a kind of screening tools that we combine with the gamification. And the second thing is maybe similar with the previous speaker just mentioned about the community-led monitoring, because I do believe that every country already have it, but maybe in the different kind of implementation. And last thing, we have the TB policy tracker. Maybe I will explain you next about the details of the policy tracker itself. The first thing is about the TB Warrior Screening. This is kind of things that we having interactive mobile game that encourage early TB symptom screening, particularly for among youth. By blending education with entertainment, it turns screening into fun and engaging activities. So user can complete the mission, they come visit to the platform, and then they have a mission to complete it and learn about the TB facts and access their symptom in a simple and very accessible way. Adaptable to this local language as well and the culture context, if you can see in the slide. So we having a collaboration with 4 big university in Indonesia. We introduced this kind of screening tools to the students and asking them to access it directly. And we can found that more than 1,000 students access this kind of screening form. And among those who access the screening tools, more than 200 of them identify as people with the TB symptoms, and we refer them for the following up. So overall, the TB Warrior Screening show how gamification can reach youth where they already are, of course, on their phone, while strengthening awareness, screening, and early detection. And the next is the community-led monitoring. Basically, it's simply the same like what the previous speaker just mentioned. But in Indonesia, we do acknowledge this kind of application that it can give the TB affected community a direct way to report. So what we highlight here that everyone can report what is their feedback about the TB services. So if they report about the quality of the service that they receive, the community member and the TB survivor can share real-time feedback on the medicine availability, side effect that they are experienced, diagnostic service, treatment quality, or even stigma. So if we are talking about the BPAL and the BPAL-M, if someone are using the BPAL and BPAL-M and then they have the side effect, they can directly report the side effect here. And then they can directly get help from the community that we already train. What can they do to help those kind of people to address the side effect that they encounter? Or even if someone with the BPAL and BPAL-M experience stigma, they can report to this kind of the CLM, and we have our paralegal on the ground who are going to help in terms of the legal issues to address in the ground. So in its core, our CLM strengthen feedback, engagement, and voice of the TB-affected community. When the community can share their experience and when that feedback inform action, we move toward a more accountable, responsive, and people-centered TB program. And our next digital platform is the policy tracker for TB in Indonesia. So basically, this is a digital platform that brings all policies across Indonesia in national and also district level into one place. So if you would like to see what kind of policy that are there in Indonesia, you can just visit this kind of platform. You can see which district already have the sub-district regulation or any kind of budgeting allocation that is available in district. We put all things in one place, so we can track it directly from this platform. It's also used directly by the national government to track the subnational level achievement related to the policy itself. So overall, the policy tracker strengthen the transparency, coordination, and action in TB policy implementation. All of these kind of digital tools that we are mentioned, it's scalable, of course, because it can expand across the region. It can sustain because we have a very low cost of operation. Even in this current situation of funding, we can still continue those kind of digital platform because it's very low cost of the maintenance. And then adaptability, we can tailor it to the local language, workflows, and the technology readiness, and also the community center. Because before developing all kind of digital tools, we have any consultation with our TB survivor or frontliner from the healthcare workers, so they can provide like what kind of things that they need, and we already integrate in this kind of digital tools. And lastly, for me, to close my presentation, I just would like to emphasize that our 3 digital tools that currently used in Indonesia already provide real-time insight and support stronger advocacy, because together they build a more connected data-driven TB ecosystem. Ultimately, this digital innovation moves us toward a TB response that is more responsive, inclusive, and community-centered. I think that's all for me. Thank you so much for your attention. Looking forward for the discussion.